Guys, how's it going? My throat has been going wild with ascension stuff. If you're on my Instagram, you would have kind of heard me speak a little bit about that. If you're not on my Instagram, you can get on there via the link in my description box of my YouTube. So I used to vlog a lot. My vlogs used to be, I don't know, what I mainly did on my YouTube, and on this new account of mine is shifting. So if you're new, welcome. I'd appreciate if you subscribe if this resonated with you, or you enjoyed my video. Vlogs are not what I do all the time. If you're curious what my mug says, it says, sorry for my bluntness. Those of you that know me understand. So I'm getting ready for a photo shoot, and I used to do this a lot where I would just do my makeup and people would watch me on like Instagram Live, and I would like share what I'm using and stuff. And I just thought, why not come on here and chat, because I can kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm priming my face with this Nivea Men's Sensitive Skin. It's actually a men's like shaving sort of. Oh wait, why am I doing this? I made a mistake actually, because I'm gonna do my eyes first. Whatever. I already lotioned my face, but yeah, so I am getting ready for a photo shoot, and you guys will see those pictures in the next couple of months. Super excited to show you, and like I said, kill two birds with one stone on here and just give you kind of like, I don't know, an update, chit chat. Let's like check in with you and make sure you're doing okay. Talk to a lot of you about, I'm using the Essence I Love Color Intensify eyeshadow base. I'll be using basically all drugstore products here today. I'm not super big on like high-end makeup products when I know that you can get it the same quality for the same price at the drugstore. So there will be a couple of eyeshadows that I may use that will be more of the high-end price. But yeah, like I talked to a lot of you about about your spirituality, your ascension. Being a psychic healer, spiritual healer is unique. I mean, at this day and age, it's really navigating the waters that we're in, right? Where it's like trying to figure out how to really make life enjoyable. I'm going to set that with this e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette with the lightest shade right here, just so it doesn't crease. This is just going to be the base, and I'm going to put a bunch of other stuff on top. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. My platform is always about trying to help people find community and resonance and understanding in their life, and like, I don't know, a warm hug. And it's hard because like for me, I've been on this planet for so long in the 3D. Oh yeah, high-end shadow. I'll be using Rice Paper by MAC to highlight my brow bone, and Nylon potentially. Like, being a spiritual healer and stuff it's interesting, because like, even though, yeah, I've been here for many lifetimes, it's like I still have to, I don't know, navigate the 3D waters. And I know a lot of you that are going through your awakenings or already have, maybe you haven't and you will. Like, I feel like everybody on my platform is awakened or has chosen to become awakened whenever that is in life. Whether it's like, hey, if you're triggered by something right now, you'll probably understand why you're triggered later on, and it'll make more sense, right? Just putting a little bit more nylon on the edges with a little brighter. And maybe my inner eye too for a little bit of rice paper. So it's like, still navigating that in the 3D. And I know that sometimes people have difficulty with figuring out what to do on a daily basis when like, okay, the world is meant for more. I'm here for a more purposeful life. And like, I struggled with that a lot as well. Many of you know, and if you don't know, you know, that I am a lawyer, and I just switched brushes there. I left my quote unquote typical practice to do this work full time, to be a healer, sorry, my stuff is so messy behind me, to be a healer, as like my full-time job, not just through activism, but like you know, my coaching business and stuff, you can book a session with me in the link below if you'd like. But overall, it's like, why am I here? And I had to really question myself. I'm going to use Soft Spoken by MAC just to blend out this. I know I said all drugstore. You could also use one of the colors in the Mad for Matte palette, like this one, for example, or this one, or mix them if you wanted the same sort of effect. I just had this open, and yeah, I will still use that palette later again. But yeah, it was a question I really had to ask myself, like, what do I stand for? What do I want to do? And my guides have told me, like, this is your last life on earth, right? Maybe one more, but I really don't think so. And you know, they can choose, and my higher self can choose, but a part of, like, a requirement in this being my last life on earth was to ensure that I fulfilled my purpose to the fullest, right? And you know, it's tiring sometimes, and you know, I start to think about, oh, what did I give up with law? Or like, you know, start asking yourself all these stupid fucking questions, and you remember, like, what your life was like under the billable hour. Yeah. And the way that you're kept in the system is like by the perks and stuff, right? And so no surprise that I would be wondering, oh my god, what did I give up? Because, like, you know, at the beginning of figuring all of this out, you're not making the same amount of money. You don't have the same amount of recognition. You don't, like, have the same level of respect necessarily, depending on who you're around and all that. But, like, you know, for me, it was honoring my healing, honoring my my purpose, and also educating others on that, what my purpose is and what theirs could be, or whatever. And, like, you know, honoring my pricing, honoring who I am, because it's like, even if I'm not the typical lawyer anymore, that's still knowledge that is passed on in my sessions. Not legal advice per se, but like that experience, just me knowing how things work in that way. My business knowledge, right? Like, all of that plays a really big part in who I am and what I do. And so again, navigation, right? I'm going to use this chocolate brown color to go deeper in the crease with a smaller crease brush. But I mean, life's good. See this chocolate and kind of this really dark brown. Well, they're both kind of like a chocolate color. But yeah, it's just been an interesting year. I think I'm excited for 2022 to be done. It was exactly what, you know, it was promised to be in balancing out my feminine energy a lot more, which was to really embrace my spiritual practice and business and purpose. And that's the same for a lot of people. You know, 2022 was a year of love and romance. It was a year of Venus, and people finding, you know, self-love, love with other individuals, aligning with conscious love and friendship. And, you know, as we wrap up and we end this kind of quarter, Q4 of this year, it's, you know, acknowledging how far you've come. Where did you start? Where are you at now? How is your life different than when it was in January? And taking note of that. Respecting and appreciating your growth process, right? That's very important, because if we just continue, I'm going to go in with this color now and just kind of blend it at the top. If we just continue to live this life of, well, I'm not ready yet, or things are just going to continue to suck, or like, you know, martyrdom, and like, not even martyrdom, it's like not valuing yourself in your journey. If we continue in that space, it's really hard to grow. If we don't acknowledge where we've been and fully accept it, how can we move forward? I talked about this in my video yesterday. I posted a weekly energy video, tarot video on my Instagram, and I was talking about, it's like, you're eventually going to trip, right? If you're looking back and you're trying to walk forward, right? Naturally, my head goes this way because I'm going this way. But if you're trying to go like this, eventually you trip. Like literally you can trip, right? And what is that trip in life? It could be reliving the same experience again and again that you already knew, right? It could be like being in a scenario that you were already advised to leave. Like so many things can come up, right? And so I like to nudge people in the direction of like, you know, let's move forward, let's persevere. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use a dark brown pencil thingy, jumbo eye pencil from NYX. It's all dirty, so old too. YOLO. I was gonna do this on my lid. You know, there's so many things I'm excited to share with you guys in the next little while here. You know, the next 6 months, you're gonna see a whole different version of me, different experiences. And I think that, or with hope, it'll help motivate you a little bit, or show you that you're on the right track, or give you, you know, like encouragement after a hard time. I don't know if you can hear my music. That brush is dirty. May just use it anyway because I'm going to go on top. I used this for my olive green eyeshadow the other week, if you guys saw that picture, but I'm just going to wipe it on this paper towel. It's going to kind of blend out this jumbo eye pencil. It's these pencils are kind of annoying to use at times because they're sticky, but they work so well as a base as well as just like a shadow. So I didn't put any of that color that I was using before on my lid. It was all going in my crease and on my highlight bone, and my bone highlight. And you know, I did prime, but this is such an effective way to get a saturated look for cheap as well as quickly. And if you have, like, let's say little experience with makeup or no experience with makeup, like they have so many colors in these pencils that you can really play around to see what you like. Okay, perfect. Need you in my life. Turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna go back with this crease brush that I was using. Yeah, I like using matte in the crease, so I'm gonna go back with this dark chocolate and just kind of blend out the top of the eyelid color with the rest of it again, because you want to kind of bridge those gaps of color in between to make it look seamless, or as seamless as possible. So it's like a more of an ombre gradient than a stark contrast. Blending is one of the most important things in makeup. If you're wondering whether I'm a makeup artist or a trained makeup artist, no. Okay, let me tell this story actually, because this would be a good story time for those of you that haven't been here before, or a refresher for those that have been on the platform for a decade. Okay, well, I did work at NYX, NYX makeup store, when they opened here in BC. I opened both locations, the Burnaby location as well as the Vancouver one. I was a merchandising manager at the Vancouver one on Robson, right on Robson and Thurlow. And I'm gonna go in again with this color, Mad for Matte palette by e.l.f., and just blend all that again. So I was the merchandising manager there, and you know, I wouldn't have got the job if I didn't know anything about makeup. But yeah, I wasn't a trained makeup artist, but I did work in a makeup store. I didn't do makeovers and stuff. Usually got like the general employees to do that, because I did have a management role. And so how I got into makeup, let's talk about that. Back when, if you didn't know, I lived in Australia. I would get bored and I needed some sense of inspiration and motivation in my life, or I wanted to learn something new. I watched a lot of YouTube. I didn't watch a lot of YouTube before I moved to Australia. I started doing that after the fact. And so what I did was I started watching a lot of makeup videos. And so I would learn about makeup and like different brands. Like I knew stuff about makeup because I grew up as a dancer, so I would do my makeup, but I wasn't one that wore makeup in high school and stuff like that. I'm going to use this NYX Perfect Filter eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to go in with the same brush I just used actually. It's really not that dirty. With this color right here, and go over my entire lid. And so I'm just gonna create layers of color on here. And so I would watch these videos and I would teach myself how to do makeup. I would just like get stuff and like start to experiment and like, yeah, I don't know. I've always cared about fashion and stuff, and so it's easy for me to do that. And then eventually I feel like I became pretty good and I stopped hiring like makeup artists and stuff. And you know, I lived in Australia for 3 years. It was crazy. It was also lonely because I was away from everybody that I loved at that time. I just like wanted to find a sense of kind of purpose and community, and yeah, like I said, was just trying to figure things out. And I was there for I'm gonna use a Naked palette. This is another not drugstore palette. This is the original one, and I believe I'm gonna go in with, I'll probably layer a couple more actually, Dark Horse first and then Smog. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to saturate the shadow on here. You can kind of see it, it's very dark. And then what I do to give it kind of a wet look is, I don't even know what side I put it on now. Let me do that again. Is I spray it with setting spray to give it that look of more of a wet, shiny look. And so, yeah, I was there for my MBA, so my master's in business, and I was also there for law school. And it was great because I actually had a huge community of people from Canada there, people that I'm still good friends with. And we're all back here and, you know, practicing or became lawyers or whatnot. Some didn't. And yeah, like it was cool being there. But it's so far, but I don't even remember what a 16 or 18 hour time difference. They also don't have daylight savings there. And so sometimes that would make a little bit of a difference. Ooh, I like. And so it was, I'm gonna go on top with Smog now, which was another color in that palette. Yeah, right on top. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, I just made a lot of like friends, but it was very lonely. My anxiety and depression, now that I look back, was a lot worse than I thought it was. I don't really suffer from it the same way anymore. I do have moments where I see it. I'm gonna blend this. Where I see it and I feel it. I'm gonna blend it with the medium chocolate color here at the top, just a crease here. And like, I didn't realize, you know, like I said, that I was going through certain mental health stuff, and you know, a large part of my platform is like getting people kind of talking about things, normalizing hardship, giving people a sense of belonging in my space on my page. Like, it's like inviting people into my home, like, hey, I've gone through this and I've gone through that, and like, I want you to know that you're not alone if you've gone through that either, right? I want you to know that it's normal, and how can we kind of get through it. And the way that I got through it a lot was my spirituality. What I'm gonna do lastly here is just get a little bit of this Kylie shadow color New York from Pressed Powder palette. I can't tell which one it is, but it is the color New York from this palette here that looks like this. And just a little bit in the middle, just a tad. kind of creating like a highlight pop in your eye. It's barely there, barely noticeable, but it adds just an extra layer of dimension. But yeah, I cured a lot of it, or the harsh kind of symptoms of it, in through my spirituality. And a lot of anxiety and depression is like a lack of spirituality at times in your life when it's really bad, because it's like the hopelessness, it's assuming the worst, it's not understanding the role that manifestation or abundance mindset plays in your life. And we can go through that for a long time, and I did too. And so, like I said, I cured a lot of it by going inward and like creating boundaries. I'm gonna go in with this mixture and just kind of put it on the edges a little bit. Yeah, it's just like understanding what boundaries were needed, like who was in my life that shouldn't have been there. You know, are we like happy? Are we not happy? Like, who are these people, right? And once we stop doing things that we don't want to do, we are happier, right? Even if at the beginning it's tough. Just taking a makeup wipe. Even if at the beginning it's tough, and the makeup wipes I use are from Walmart, and I'm just gonna go underneath here and pick up this residue. I'm doing my foundation next, and I actually never wear foundation. I get asked if I wear foundation, but I don't. But these are special pictures, so I'm going to wear some foundation today, and I'll do my under eye shadow after. And like, yeah, like a lot of it was cured, or like kind of more like understood when I saw why I was feeling certain ways, why I was so unhappy, and then having to make those changes. And like, the awakening life chose me, not the other way around. And so that was another big part of that experience. I'm gonna clean this beauty blender and I'll be right back. So yeah, like actually working through things and seeing where I needed to create the boundaries and make those difficult decisions was key to my growth and getting up every day, honestly. I'm gonna go back with the Nivea for Men, what is it, cooling aftershave balm. And so, and like, it gets a little sticky just like a regular primer does. And so like, do I not have anxiety or not have any depressive moments? Absolutely not what I'm saying. But it's like, how do we navigate? I'm gonna go in with a little bit of strobe cream, which I don't usually use, but let's get shiny today. And like, sometimes if I'm going through ascension, I'll have like really like depressive moments, or if I'm going through like an ego death, I will have like suicidal thoughts, and like no intention to do it. And some of you that have gone through your spiritual awakenings will understand what that's like and why. And so it's not anything to be afraid of necessarily. It's just like a natural part of going through those changes, is because you're literally kind of killing this old energetic version of yourself and starting fresh, right? I'm going to be using the 4.5 HD Photogenic Concealer. Yeah, these don't have names. Oh, Sand Beige. I was like, do they have names? I can't even remember. And doing some of this as my like highlight. It just like all comes back to you naturally, even though you haven't done your makeup for a while. But yeah, it's and the Matte Poreless Foundation from Maybelline in 220 Natural Beige. I'm just gonna put it on my paper towel here in front of me. Yeah, it was a lot of just kind of figuring things out, and one drop of Classic Tan in this NYX Total Control Foundation. 1.5 drops of it. Come on. There we go. Hold on. Give me a second here, and we're going to use this foundation brush. I'm just going to kind of put it on my face before I use the beauty blender. Oh, this feels so weird. I don't even know the last time I had foundation on. Maybe for a photo shoot. Oh my god, actually, yeah, I'll probably for a different photo shoot. I'm trying to think. Holy shit, yeah, I think that's the last time. Or I may have done it for my cousin's wedding the other year. But I don't know. And we're going to blend. And, okay, sorry, I'm like all over the place. But, like I said, like, really kind of figuring out like what I need to cut out, who I need to cut out, why my life was, you know, like why I didn't really have boundaries. And the thing is, like, it's not like I never had boundaries. I was always a really vocal person. I was always somebody that had a strong sense of self, pretty like high strong sense of self-worth. But naturally in life you go through scenarios that are meant to teach you lessons, or like, you know, karmic scenarios and events in your life where you're like, okay, this is gonna get blended out a lot. I think it's like one shade too light for me. I am tanned. Oopsies. But bronzer and stuff will fix that. Kind of look like a ghost right now. Oh, not on camera. Sweet. I think it's just a lighting in my apartment. But yeah, like, and it's an ever-evolving thing, these boundaries. It's not something where you're like, oh yeah, like I figured out I need to set a boundary once and like I'm never gonna have to do it again. Like, no, because people all have free will. People decide that they want to change, or you decide that you want to change, and that like your life is not as satisfying as it was because of X circumstance. And so if people in X circumstance aren't aligned with you in your new circumstance, like you're obviously going to have to kind of figure out what you're going to do next, right? It's like, okay, what's the next chapter of my life? What is like this going to look like for me? And making those changes like has sometimes been kind of awkward. Like for me, it's involved like friendships and stuff like that, kind of dwindling or like consciously ending friendships because of people that I feel didn't align with me or didn't see my worth and value. And like in those moments, it's like you don't know if, you know, that person's ever gonna shift into a more aligned version of you, or you don't know if they're gonna shift into like a different version of themselves, or like, you know, someone that you want to be around anymore. But in those temporary times, you have to figure out what you want to do, right? I'm using this Mega Wet n Wild Caramel Toffee in 750A, the banana powder on this side, as well as a color correcting powder in banana from NYX. And I'm gonna kind of bake my under eye right now with a mixture of both of these colors. You know? Yeah, I think that was really awkward, like having a breakup with someone that was like a friend and a good friend of mine at a certain point. And like, you know, she never realized, I don't think she ever realized why. I don't know if she is still that person or like whatever, but it's like, you know, I was met with, let's say, with the reaction of what I felt all along. I wasn't met with like and I not like I'm sorry, but like, crap, I didn't realize I was doing that. It was like, you're a selfish person. These are all the things I did for you, and now you're leaving me, kind of thing. NYX Wonder Stick Highlight and Contour Stick in Deep, which is WSO3. You know what I mean? And like kind of realizing like I didn't have to put up with that shit, and choosing not to put up with that shit. You're like, yo, who's this bad bitch? You know? I don't know if that's how I really felt, but it was hard. It was hard because you just never really know life has in store for you on the other side of making these changes. I think that's the main thing, is like a lot of my clients want a guarantee, right? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna blend it out with this. Like, okay, if I do this, what do I get from it? It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. What you get from it is for sure a peace of mind, but you shouldn't be doing it to get an outcome. You should be doing it because it makes you feel better, to know that you have a certain boundary in place, or to know that like you're gonna be happier. You don't do it because, okay, thing is, you have to do it unconditionally. You can't do it because you want another person to like say something or do something or like acknowledge it. If they do, great. But at the end of the day, what are you seeking? Likely validation from another. It's not unconditional, right? And these changes should be unconditional. And sometimes we realize after we make the change, like, oh shit, it was not. My bad. My bad. But yeah, like, oh yeah, I did a podcast, the Be Real Babe podcast last week. You guys should listen to it. And I think it's episode 88 of theirs. Like, oh, you just make everything look so effortless. I'm like, isn't that the truth though? Like, we think that everybody's journey is effortless. Not like saying that, you know, they don't acknowledge. You get what I mean? But they're like, oh, like, but I'm sure it took a lot, right? Or it did. It's like, yeah, totally. Like, we just kind of look outwardly and we don't know like what goes on in people's individual lives, right? And how difficult certain things are. And I guess I try not to make it look effortless. I'm using the Maybelline Express Brow Pencil in 260 Deep Brown. I like the Maybelline brow pencils a lot. I also like the e.l.f. brow product. The NYX one isn't bad either. Okay, so we get this sidetrack. But I had to get my eyebrows done. And like, they weren't that bad. They don't really grow as much as they used to when I was younger. And like, and my lady that I usually go to in Surrey, I lived downtown Vancouver, she was sick when I was in the neighborhood. And I was like, do I really want to go all the way to Surrey to get my brows done? And just like the thought of it annoyed me, and I knew that there was a place downtown called Donna Lucia. I go to like this lady that works out of her house. This place called Donna Lucia, and they have some brown ladies there. It's like, I'm really particular, like I want to get my eyebrows done from a Punjabi lady that's been threading for like decades. And I hadn't gone to anybody else for 6 years. Like, I'd finally found someone I trusted, which is the lady I still go to. And all I gotta say is I was very satisfied with how she did my eyebrows. And I was like, okay, sweet. So if I ever need, like, you know, to get my brows done and I know I can't go see Simran, then I got this lady on lock here. And she's just up the street, so it's perfect. Can't remember what I was even talking about before. Probably boundaries and friendships and stuff. But yeah, like, consciously kind of losing friendships or seeing things like dwindle or fade. This is the e.l.f. brow pencil in deep brown, the instant lift. I'm just gonna kind of do the edges here. Yeah, seeing things dwindle and like that is kind of weird. Eyebrow pencil and the NYX deep brown cake powder. Sorry, eyebrow cake powder in taupe, which is number 3. Just using one of the powders here to fill them in. But yeah, like, oh yeah, it's like everything looks easier said than done, but it's like what's going on the other side of the screen, right? What difficult decisions are being made? What like hardship is happening? And a lot of this stuff I've documented in specific aspects of my life, and I want to have that available for people one day. For sure, like I really do want to make a documentary out of it and show the journey, show the pain, show these like ego deaths that I've gone through, or the continuous like transformations, right? During these really big changes, and to give people like a sense of like understanding, right? Like, oh yeah, shit, okay, it's normal for us to kind of feel this way, or it's normal for people to go through this, or like, you know, I'm not the only one, and whatever. So, you know, it's a nice feeling, I think, to have that community. Or to have that knowing, right? Okay, eyebrow. Please cooperate, because I got to have you looking fly. Okay, I'm just gonna not touch it now. Snoop Dogg and Dogg. That's not even what song's on, but it's in my head now. I'm now gonna set it with this clear brow gel from e.l.f. Love this brow gel. I was at Old Navy a couple of months ago, and like I hadn't had this brow gel in so long, and I saw it there, and I was like, oh yeah, I will. e.l.f. is like, I know it's sold at Walmart and stuff. There's no Walmart downtown, so I don't really get to go there. You know what I mean? I'm going to use a fluffy brush of sorts. I'm gonna use this one and just wipe away this big. This isn't dense enough. Use this. I think what I'm going to do next is I have this pressed powder by CoverGirl. Thing is freaking broken. I'm going to actually take this with me. Creamy Beige 250. I'm just going to put this all over my face. I like my setting powder. What next, Reminder? Not the coffee! Not the gumdrop buttons! I think what I'll do is my under eye. And my pencil. I'm gonna use this Rimmel London. Is it Rimmel? Yep. In black, 161. Give me 1 second. I'm back. In this meantime, I line my under eye and my upper waterline with this black Rimmel pencil, and I'm just setting it with this Wet n Wild Panther eyeshadow. And now blending out just the top a little bit. I'm not going to do much of a wing liner. I'm just smoking it out a tad. I might just do like a really thin line for where my my eyelashes are going to sit, if that makes sense. What else do you guys want to talk about? I'm trying to like tune in energetically to somebody, an anonymous person that wanted me to speak about something. How do I stay motivated? Yeah, like that's I'm curious if that's you. Let me know below. That's how you stay motivated. It's not easy. Like, it's not easy to stay motivated, and like, I don't say in a space where you're a leader like that, but you know, when you have an Instagram platform, it's like, or like for me at least, like it's important for me to be on and like giving content and info and like being transparent. It's important for me. And the motivation factor is really tough when you're going through a big transition, hard time. How many is this? Voluminous Butterfly Intenza by L'Oreal Paris. Just a little bit because I'm going to put lashes on. yeah, the motivation factor sometimes is rough. You know, just as much as like I teach about human design, or I've read a lot of people's human design, as a generator, that's my type in human design, I have to also remind myself not to burn out, right? To only take aligned action steps, to ensure that I'm responding to opportunity rather than just making myself do things for the sake of doing it, to act like that's me being productive. And you know, like before you awaken, before you get to a level of ascension on your own path, like you can kind of get away with that stuff, right? And when any of us or any of you have hit the point of understanding your energy a little bit more, you know that that's not possible, right? And so that motivation factor for me has had to come, it's had to shift. It's like motivation could even be the motivation to rest, the requirement to rest, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not. And also motivation when I get the nice messages, like, you know, that helps for sure, because people are seeing you for who you are, and I love that. I got this yesterday from London Drugs. It's the Annabelle Perfect Glow in Quartz. I'm just gonna highlight my cheekbones with this a little bit now before I do my bronzer and stuff. Sometimes it's nice to have this like layer underneath. Before everything goes on, because it kind of like blends in a little bit easier. I saw that on a YouTube video once, and I can't remember his name. I was actually thinking about him the other week, like curious about what his name was, because like I said, I couldn't remember. Okay, this NYX taupe blush, which is actually a contour, is so raggedy and old, and I need to get a new one just because this annoys me. Same with this e.l.f. highlighter I use a lot in Pink-tastic. The lids are broken, but I use these every day, and so I just kind of want to get new ones. Just going to contour a little bit. A little bit of powder. It's going to end up blending out when we do the bronzer and stuff. This, and I think rather than the Hoola bronzer, I need a new one of the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I'm going to use bronzer, Ticket to Brazil, $7.39 by Wet n Wild. I'm going to blend everything out. I don't like this brush. Blend everything out better. This like really cheap brush that I swear I got from Dollarama. It stains, which is annoying, but like it does the fucking job, I'm telling you. Literally, I don't even know what, I was on this whole tip like for a while ago, like years ago, where I was just trying a bunch of stuff from the dollar store. The people were doing like challenges with dollar store makeup, and I was like, oh, let me go see what I can find here in Canada, because a lot of the people are from the States. And then I just saw this brush. It had like a silicone kind of beauty blender on the end of it, which sucked. I ripped it off. But it worked well. I also gotta do my lashes, which is not my favorite part. My lips, I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products to put on my lips. That's what gave me the color. Like I tested it out yesterday. I was like, that the color that I want. 7 products. Put some chapstick on. Some more chopstick. Yeah, well, I don't know where it is. Oh no. Oh, here it is. But, like, I don't really wear gloss too much, but oh no, yeah, 8 products. I'm like, what lip color are you wearing? Like, oh, yeah. Make sure to write that down, guys. Oh yeah, can I say I like my makeup? I like my makeup right now. Thank you, God. I'm going to use the NYX Dusty Rose in PB02 as my blush. Put a little extra on because blush fades. And this CoverGirl shadow I used to use as a highlighter. It is in Champagne, and I got a new one yesterday because my other one had completely shattered. Nice. I'm just gonna use it as a highlight. Every little thing you do, on my mind, on my mind. Okay, let's just blend everything. Make everything seamless. Still gonna do my hair. Put my lashes and my lipstick on, which I will do once I put my top on. It's a turtleneck, so I think I'll be back in a little bit. I'll show you guys. Oh, actually, let me just show you what I'm going to be doing for my eyelashes, or what I'll be putting on my eyelashes as my lash. Under this tower of stuff. I've never used this brand, but I really like the natural yet dense look of these. These are by Kiss. They are the So Real Lash. So these are gonna go on with my 8 lip products, and I will show you guys. I'll be back once my lashes are on, all right? My lashes are the most annoying thing ever. I don't wear them often, but I got this new Duo glue. And I'm like, oh, I actually kind of like how it's like a liner. So I can just do this if I need to, if things are coming off. Another reason why I was saying I might just do one strip of black eyeliner, like a very thin one, on top. So it covers any of this potential glue stuff. Yeah, it's falling on this side. You can do it. I just felt someone saying that watching this. You can do it. My hair curler is heating up in the bathroom. I have the Numi curling wand. I'm just gonna allow that to dry. And put some more mascara on the bottom. This is a Punky Rock now discontinued voluminous mascara. When I saw that these were discontinuing and they were on sale, I think I bought 5 of them or something at Shoppers Drug Mart. I was like, no, you're not doing this to me. I also think that they're available on Amazon still. Sure. They're originally an England eye mascara. So I don't know if that's why. That it discontinued or something. Anyway, not my problem because I got it. I gotta curl these back because they freaking... I don't have an eyelash curler. I don't think I do I? No. This went down when I was taking them off the wrapper thing. And so I was like, oh, I'll just fix it with mascara. I don't even know if it's gonna work, and they're already falling off anyway, so. Okay, with this one, I think I'm just gonna go like this. And just put the glue on like eyeliner and hope for the best at this point. Wanna get with you. Okay, you know what? No. What I'm gonna do now that they're already off is just chop these couple of hairs. It's fine. They're still very full. One more night. You got the songs, random ass fucking songs. I think this is actually way better. Yo, this glue may just save my life from now on. It may make wearing lashes bearable. Holy shit. I actually think that was a miracle. And I'm all here for it. Alright, what's next? A little bit more contour. Yeah, hit the spot already. Lips, are you ready for this? So, I'm going to outline with Mahogany by NYX. Mahogany by NYX. Gonna fill with Epic by Rimmel London. Told you there's like 8 products I'm using. I'm actually gonna outline just the edges of my lip with Y2K by NYX because I'm going for a 90s kind of grunge look today. And I want that look. Okay, so it's all gonna kind of blend in now. I've got a couple of colors. This is Soft Spoken by NYX. Suede lip, and thing is this is a mini size, so they come in a longer size. And I'm gonna go on top with NYX Berlin. Yep. So when I worked there, they would have these packs. And they're still fine, they still work. And I'm gonna blend them all in. It's Berlin as well as Dubai. Y2K again. Clean the edges. I'm gonna let this dry. This is basically my look. I'm gonna be ending it off with this new gloss I got yesterday, which is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Stone. So I can't wait for you guys to see these final pictures, and I send you love. All right, bye.